Take off! It's time for Doug and Ben's Great NASCAR Adventure!
Ooh, yay. Okay. Yep. Okay. Welcome to NasCanucks. I'm Ben. That's Doug, apparently. Maybe not.
Dumbass! All I gotta say.
Fades into existence. There we are. Well, it was your driver's turn this week. So. He was due.
Seriously. Did you see that picture after the race? Someone took of him getting interviewed, and you could see behind him they had NASCAR security hats on. It's like, assume your positions for post race.
Exactly. We got 4 people in here already. We got Charles 75N. Again, sorry about the passing of Charles 74N. I assume, previous generation 74 as opposed to 75. Our thoughts are with you, my friend. Keith Campbell's here, and Terry's 333 Gs. Sweet. Nice. So we got 5 races to discuss. It's just another 3-day weekend of racing, which started on Friday with the ARCA series, which that was my thought, Doug. The first time I'm like, why? What? Mid-Ohio, I'm like, well, it's got to be a replay, tape delay from last week. Because last week, the Indy cars were there. I believe the IMSA, the door. No, they were at Mostport. No, yeah, they were at Mostport last week. Anyway, but hey, I don't know. You know what I think it is the promoters or the owners at Mid-Ohio, they get the phone calls from the sanctioning bodies like, hey, is this weekend, can we, And so I think, in typical NASCAR fashion, they went, hey, can we have the trucks run up at Mid-Ohio? We want to do a thing, where they run with the Indy cars, like old school. And they went, sure. They're like, are they available this weekend? They went, sure. Indy cars are here the previous weekend, but fuck it. We'll run trucks. So it was the trucks and ARCA weekend, which I don't know how many people were through the gate, but
Neither do I. I think I'm just gonna sit here, and my glasses are dirty. I'm just gonna sit until you get to Sunday. I'm just gonna sit and clean my glasses because I'd seen nothing.
Well, started off, they made a big deal of the Canadian in the field of the ARCA race. Apparently, it was I can't remember what's her name from NASCAR Wives, who apparently is this big deal Canadian NASCAR.
Wasn't she on some other thing too?
Yeah. So the person I went, have you ever heard of her? And you went, no. Well, apparently she's been competing all season in the ARCA series.
Oh, yeah?
And, I often comment that it's a real throwback. They dropped the green flag and it looks like 3 cars have an extra gear. And, that what I'm saying is depth of field isn't so deep. It's very shallow. She's 6th in the standings going into the race. And I was like, I didn't even know she was competing this year. So, which tells me, Doug, you and I should pick up a couple ARCA cars, and we could finish at least 9th and 10th in the points.
Maybe.
All you have to do is finish the race, believe me, because she was a menace out there. John Hunter Nemechek decided to do double duty, and it was pretty much like watching Gibbs at Portland. It was raining. They dropped the green. The leader went. Yes, Jessica Friesen does run dirt all the time. She runs a dirt modified weekly at Utica, I think.
She used to be in the World of Outlaws.
And she was in the World of Outlaws before that.
So just to preface, like I say, don't talk to me till Sunday. You're in Canada.
Yeah,
Roger's customer right here. I had nothing on Friday.
Yeah.
Saturday, I didn't get service back till like Sunday morning.
So yes. So you didn't. My guide.
I could see my TV guide on the TV.
The biggest thing was, well, let me tell you. I'm going to tell you. Well, start in the rain, and the biggest thing was, hey, do we put slicks on or not halfway through? Because they do the break because they don't have real pit stops because they don't really have real pit crews anymore. Especially a standalone. Well, don't they use the Truck Series teams? Guess what? They're doing modified live pit stops as well, which means if you want to come in for a pit stop under green, Doug, say for 4 tires and load of fuel, good luck. Pit stop could be 20 seconds. It could be 2 minutes. So we're not quite sure. Yeah,
so Friday
had no internet or cell service.
Yeah, Friday was no internet, no cell phone, no nothing. Saturday, I had cell phone, no TV.
I had everything because I am not a Rogers customer. So, yes. On the other hand, I don't know, did Nemechek even win the race? He might have got passed at the end, but it was a good race at the end. 2-way battle, him and somebody else. I don't know. Everybody went off the track at one time or another. That was a lot of that. And then that brought us into Saturday, because I don't remember the winner of the ARCA race, because it's ARCA. Could have been, it was either John Hunter Nemechek or the other guy that had a fast car. So that brings us into the truck race, again, at Mid-Ohio. It was dry for them. Wouldn't know it.
I did get to watch some of that, because thankfully, Fox Sports Racing replayed it on Sunday.
They show it like 15 times, yeah.
Yeah, I got to see, I noticed it on the last stage.
So, trying to think. Action. We had a few teammate on teammate things happening. Andy Lally was laughing up in the booth, and got tweeted during the race, "Stop giving away all the secrets." From, I forget who it was, but it was like an Xfinity, or maybe it was a Cup driver. I can't remember which. Not saying it was Michael McDowell. Might have been Michael McDowell. Anywho's, I don't know. This, that, and the other thing. A lot of action. I like Mid-Ohio. It's a fun little track. It's a unique. It is in many ways, the Martinsville of road courses. Not because it's so short, but because it's largely a club circuit. Because that's the whole point. It's SCCA sanctioned as opposed to being, we're an IndyCar track or we're a NASCAR facility. And they're like, no, we're grassroots. It's a cool little facility and great racing. Again, I'm trying to think, who the hell won the race? Was it Zane Smith?
Come on! How do you not know who won the race? You talk about him all the time.
Do I?
Yes. The 18th different winner this season in the Truck Series.
Well, this is true.
And another part-time winner, like 8 in a row, 9 in a row.
Or is it 18 in a row? Because have they even run 18 races this year?
I don't know.
I know we're getting down to crunch time, but it seems like they still do. Oh, maybe. Oh, no, they don't do a 10-race playoff. No. I almost said Chase.
No. Parker Kligerman.
Right. That's right. I was really happy about that.
Apparently you were, and you really remembered it.
The problem was
already too hard.
Much like Parker, I really celebrated the win. I really celebrated, which was his 3rd career win in the series. He was almost in tears just because he knows how hard that small team works.
And he said it too. Like, I even got to listen to an interview with him later on. I believe it was Saturday morning on my way up to Aurelia. He got to talk about how, like, every year he's gone to Fox and said, you know what, I got a chance at a full-time ride in the Truck Series. I want to take it. And they're kind of been like, yeah, let's, for them, hey, we got a driver who's going to be a commentator.
Well, and let's be honest, Fox Racing is its own little entity from Fox Sports in many ways, because it's still kind of Speed TV, but not Speed TV, because they do have the Charlotte studios, and they kind of get to do their own guerrilla operation. And it's, look at all the personality, like, it's a cavalcade of blue-collar racers for the with the exception of Bobby Labonte, basically. It's a bunch of guys that did these career. Like, I remember for years growing up, I knew Rusty Wallace raced, right? And then I remember Kenny breaking in. But I thought Mike was just a pit road reporter for years. Much like Glenn Jarrett.
Yep.
Same deal. I was like, okay, so he's the brother that didn't race, and then all of a sudden there's Mike Wallace driving. I'm like, oh, somebody gave him a ride. No, he'd always been a racer, but
so he's had full-time rides, and then all of a sudden, last minute to fall him through.
Like,
so
he was the heir apparent after Ryan Newman through the Penske ladder system. He was the follow-up through the ABC system. It was
Parker. The one thing I always remember, Parker Kligerman, is at Oswego Speedway one year for the World of Outlaws. I was there, and talking with a guy who was tailgating parked behind me, and he was saying that he was talking with him. So this is like, geez, now got to be like 7-8 years ago.
What's up, Blackjack Guitar?
7-8 years ago, this guy was talking. He's like, you got to watch this kid Parker Kligerman coming up. He goes, he got to talk to him at an ARCA race, and he said, one thing you do whenever you win a race, and you're talking on the camera, take your sunglasses off. Don't be doing an interview with your sunglasses on. Be like Brad Keselowski, take them off, let people see your face.
Yeah. Or do like a lot of times what Martin does, because he has the sponsorship. He wears it for a second, then immediately puts them on top on his hat. So they're there for the sponsor.
You know what? I just had my Oakley fuel cells with the red tint. I was going to put them on the hat tonight. Not that if Oakley wants to, I have no problem if they want to sponsor me for this show here.
We will gladly take sponsorship. We were talking about that on on a guitar channel. They were saying, like, with YouTubers that do product demos, maybe they should look like NASCAR people with, and be obvious about who's supporting them. I was like, yes, please, yes.
I'm kind of like that with cornhole sometimes.
Yeah, I would like to be, like the corporate team, like Hendrick, that just has the wall of small sponsors down. Like they've got all the contingencies.
Well, and we can go off on that tangent too, but it's talking to one guy who's on my show with the other show about the sponsorship stuff, and even in cornhole now, even though it is probably a southern thing as well, is that they talk about above the fold sponsors. You got because they're starting to charge for people with doing sponsorship stuff. Any sponsor that's up here is going to cost more, no matter how size the logo is, because that's what you're going to, on an interview, you're going to see that on TV.
Yep, exactly.
Exactly.
Excuse me. So
my logo on any of our shirts is on the bottom.
Right. So Parker Kligerman wins the truck race in the 75 truck, which was cool, and then that led us into Saturday night. Hey, sis. We've got 8 people watching. Nice. Anywho's, Saturday night.
Right. If you lose me, I'll be right back. I'm just unplugging because I'm having an OCD moment.
We were back to Nashville Fairgrounds. Not Nashville Super Speedway, but Nashville Fairgrounds, the better track, according to Dale Jr. and pretty much everybody. The SRX series expanded this week to 13 cars. I think somebody, too much. Sure, come on down. Sure. Oh, wait. Dang it. Do we have? Yeah, we got, because they got a couple extras. So they had one extra. Matt Kenseth making his series debut, which was cool to see. And he had all the family there, like, including the grandkids, because Ross was there with his kids. And then
Ross should have had Ross in the race.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah, that would have been.
Well, maybe if they ran like Slinger again or something, they would do that because he ran up there more, right? So
because then it'd be better than having Bill and Chase, because then both father and son would actually finish.
It wasn't. Yeah, like they did that at like Stafford. So, like, where's the history there? Oh no, maybe it was down in Pensacola because they do the snowball derby.
Yeah, because remember it was too hot for him.
Yeah,
he couldn't last.
So. Nashville Fairgrounds, pretty hot as well. The IndyCar contingent back this week. So Helio and Tony Kanaan and Connor Daly, remembered his name, up in the booth. You watched his podcast last week because he's part of the Dirty Mo Media, his podcast with another guy. He seems like he's more just a race fan than anything else, but it's really cool to watch because he's, again, another Parker Kligerman type that they were joking. Alan Bestwick's like, well, you know what the hassle is when you have to move. And Connor's like, I've never moved. I still live in the same apartment that when I moved out of my parents' house. Yeah, there's no money in IndyCar. So. Yeah. But 13 cars. Local guy, can't remember his name, but he was there. He didn't do much. Helio, again, out front in a heat race and did well. He's doing well there. And he and Biffle were kind of mixing it up. Tony Stewart off all night. Very little carnage, some rubbing, yes. So we saw some speed tape being used, except for, well, Helio did get it, yeah, because Ryan Hunter-Reay checked up and Helio didn't so much, and he's like, I'm surprised I didn't take him out more. Thank God he wasn't an inch more. It's just one of those last second, 3 car lengths too early, and the guy jams the brakes going in the corner. You get it, It's nothing you can really do. Bestwick does. Don't let him fool you. No? He's got the gun show under that sports jacket. I'm just saying. They do their phantom caution. At least they call it the fun caution, the fun flags or whatever. Which I do not care. Come on, you're doing a 12-minute heat race. Like, who cares? Just let him run. It's 12 minutes. I get it during the main, just because you may want to just cool down the tires as much as anything else, or if the field gets kind of strung out. But Marco Andretti, another good week. I think he's got to be up there in the points. Kenseth, I think he ended up second or third in the main. He did really well. He had a blast. And, or did he win it? Did he actually win it? Dang it. Since I'm commenting on the races, I should remember who won the races.
Yeah. Probably, yeah.
Actually, Matt might have won it. No. He couldn't have won a series debut. Oh, he might have. Third, I think, according to Keith. I'll go with Keith on that one. Because he knows all the trivia. So, yeah, a bunch of field cautions. Lifestyle choice. Exactly, Charles. All right, Keith, who won the race? Well, this is why it's interactive. We got 9 people watching. Who won the race? Dang it.
I don't know. Like I said, I tried to watch it Saturday night.
Gilmore Prepared Motors caught that, which they're the same ones that also do all the motors for the truck series. What's up, Bent Tom? He must be watcher number 9. Number 9. Also, fun fact. Cup Series, we know, have been running fuel injection for years. Truck Series runs fuel injection. Xfinity? Nope. Carburetors. Just, cuz. Because that makes sense. Well, it's also because they're crate motors, probably, that from Ilmore. That's why.
Getting in the Xfinity race, I'm really pissed I didn't get to see it because I wanted to see it. So I wanted to see just who was going to punt. All right.
I'll look up who won the Daniel Cerex race because I want to wrap it up. We can get to Xfinity.
Bobby won.
Bobby Labonte. That's right.
Told you.
That was a good race, too. Yeah, he had the... Get off. I don't care about location. There we go. Anyways, Bobby was fast all night. Like, he was, in that podium position all night.
Apparently, he was very memorable.
Well, you know what? The funny thing is, Bobby Labonte has, 28 career Cup wins, and I think I saw 2 of them. Because back in the day when there was only 3 to 4 night races a year in the early 90s, I was, otherwise engaged at the local short track. And so we get to the bar after the races, and maybe we get Victory Lane, and it's, hey, Bobby Labonte won. It was always Bobby Labonte that won those races, I swear. If you look up his stats, probably half his career wins were in night races. Or it would be a Sunday race where we got rained out Saturday, and we used to actually run on Sundays when we did rainouts. After a while, the owners just said, fuck it. If it rains out, it rains out. Screw it. So, yeah. Marco, Matt, and Tracy, right, were the next. Thank you, Keith. So that brings on the Xfinity race down in hot Atlanta. Again, I don't know who the hell was doing the scheduling, although they got off lucky. Weather wasn't really an issue with the extreme heat.
Well, there was questions of the attendance all weekend. But they were calling for rain all weekend, which maybe some people... although really, still buy a ticket because Atlanta's got that weather guarantee now.
Yeah.
Buy a ticket. Who cares?
They were one of the first tracks to do the weather guarantee after the snow out of, 92, 94, around there?
Mm-hmm.
That was weird. Because then the next week, it was still snowing in Richmond, and they're hoping the snow will be gone by the next race. And they're like, we might have to rethink this. I'm like, yeah, you think? Friday was rained out. Yeah, practice was rained out. I didn't have I don't get qualifying.
Was rained out as well too.
Yeah, that's why I didn't have it. That's fine. But they didn't record it anyways. Like, it wasn't like I got rugby instead again or something like that. Like, there wasn't even a recording of it. So, but yeah, that Xfinity race was actually, I think it was better than the Cup race. Imagine that.
No.
But not so much the car's faults, because it was different, because it was a little more action because of the side draft. The Cup race, you tried the side draft, but it didn't work. But my God, what a fun track, because it is a mini Daytona in a sense.
I was able to see, a highlight package that really didn't show much highlights, but it was just kind of like, a couple spin outs early, and then they kind of was like, oh, here's the last lap of the stage. Here's the last lap of the stage.
Difference was the Cup cars ran in a pack all day, whereas the Xfinity spread out immediately. Like, it wasn't pack racing, which was cool. It was like early restrictor plate days. Like, if you watch those races where the good teams could still pull out front, but there was still the whole drafting. Hey, we can bump draft or 2-car tandem, whatever. Like, all that stuff also was still part of the race. So there's a few wrecks.
I've seen the what's it?
Brandon Brown was doing well, and then he wasn't.
Sam Hunt looked like he had an issue.
Sam Mayer.
That's it.
Yep. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he got interviewed. Interesting fact, because we're talking Xfinity, I actually watched a little segment of Door Bumper Clear last week.
Ooh.
Yes, because after our rant last week, folks, like we said, NASCAR and their officials watched this. Clearly, we have 11 people watching, and I bet 3 of them are NASCAR officials. I think the others catch it on replay, But we said, hey, Gregson needs a penalty for what he did. It wasn't cool.
Well,
and all we had heard as of our taping was, it was going to be handled in-house, and we had decided, well, who would you rather talk? Kelly or Dale?
Like I said last week, Elton Sawyer was on NASCAR radio, and he said then we could have given him a penalty at that time. We could have did this. We could have did that. And then, as we said, dumbass makes a comment afterwards that he meant to do it.
Yeah.
And, well, okay, that kind of played their hand right there.
And the Door Bumper Clear guys called out. I was trying to put my finger on it. I was talking about the swagger when he was walking around with the race suit open, which apparently Dale yelled at him about, because I forgot, you have to wear the underwear nowadays. You can't wear just a fire suit. So he's basically showing off, hey, I'm breaking the rules. And I forget one of the guys, because they're all spotters on Door Bumper Clear, right? The guy just looks at the camera and goes, "You're not Tim Richmond. Give it up." And I thought, that's who he's trying to be. He's always talking, it's all about the girls and the swagger. And it's like, yeah, you're not Tim Richmond.
Well, and then, as we talked about, I didn't get a chance to hear him. Dale Jr. was on Sirius XM on NASCAR radio there after that, talking, and we talked a bit about this as well too, where he had said that Noah, he needs to take that out of his toolbox. We can't be intentionally turning guys on the straightaway.
Yeah.
Right? He then said, that that's something you never want to see somebody do. It crosses the line. You don't want to ever see any driver do that. And then
to answer Blackjack Guitar's question, I think you're going to see electric hybrid into the next generation race car. Yep. I think that's going to be the next step.
Then he said he talked with Gregson. Junior said Gregson realized he made a bad choice as he was turning into Karam. Then it hit home next lap when he saw all the cars wrecked.
Which I call bullshit on, because he seemed fine with it after the race.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So what? He was remorseful, and then he wasn't, and then he is again?
Yeah.
Really? No.
Yeah, no. And like we'd also
I hope, because it often happens, that Junior, as the owner, did not pay the fine of his driver. Because we know quite often the owners will, I'll take care of it. Like he was just speaking his mind, especially those ones, the speaking your mind.
So, because we didn't get a chance to talk about it, so it was a $35,000 fine, 30 owner, 30 driver points.
Yeah.
So basically, it was like he finished. I think he ended up getting 4 points.
Yeah. Which the owner points technically hurt because owner points are still basically like the old system
Yep.
throughout the whole season. Driver points doesn't mean crap because playoffs get reset anyway. So I would have liked to have seen even 3-point penalty in playoff points or something like that, or lose all of his current playoff points. Maybe.
Well, we also even talked on the phone thereafter when this all came down that that Junior saying all this stuff the next morning or the next day on Sirius XM saying he needs to take that out of his toolbox, he needs to do this, he shouldn't be doing this. He was on the TV broadcast and he went silent.
Yeah, exactly. That too.
If you're that upset with this, let it out.
Well, especially Junior normally doesn't have that much of a filter. I would expect to hear some like an off-air comment, we'll be talking after the race or something to that effect. But yeah, so Gregson, he was in it for a while, and then he got some damage, which fine by me.
Yeah, fine by everybody.
Tyler Reddick was in the race in the 48 car. Right? Yeah. That was interesting. Coming off the win.
Nothing.
Other than that, Gibbs was doing well and then wasn't. He
got wrecked by the Monster Energy car.
Yeah. Which was kind of ironic because no sooner did they get out of their mouth on the broadcast, let's see how the Monster Energy cars work together, and then Junior's like, not too well.
Nope. I want to say that's possibly the second or third time that they've gotten together like that this year.
I agree, Keith, but too little, too late. Could have said it.
Yeah, that's for me as well.
So, yeah. So, who won the Xfinity race?
Hometown boy.
That's right.
Austin Hill.
That's right. A trend.
Not a good trend.
Not a good trend. No. And Austin Hill's been competitive on the restrictor plate type tracks and stuff, and so not a real surprise in a sense.
But it was his first. Well, he said, it's his first ever stage win in Xfinity. He's had a lot in trucks.
Yeah, who cares about stage wins? That's what I say. I don't care. You reset it all at the end for the last race of the year, anyways. It don't mean shit. So I only care about the regular season winner, anyways. At this point, it's the closest thing I have to a season championship. So, yeah. So Austin Hill wins race, which takes us into Sunday.
Which we will then go in case for the people who missed it off the top.
Well, yeah, he is. So that brings us into. We have a bit of a notebook because we ran there once already this year. It's one of the... Actually, it is the first track we've returned to with the new car. I believe he did.
Yeah.
So, coming into that race, I think we had, just the 36 cars.
Yep.
Maybe 37? Because the 16 was out there with Gregson, which I only know when he was basically parked after a wreck. Didn't really notice him.
I know there was a lot of people that were unhappy that he was going to be in the race.
No doubt.
To begin with.
No doubt. They're like, we already got Nipplehead in the one.
I did hear a lot of people were saying that he should be suspended, but he was already announced to be in the Colleague car, right?
Mm-hmm.
And with Allmendinger and everyone else, all the other Colleague guys being at... Actually, no, he wasn't there anyway. He was at Atlanta.
I was like, where are you going with this, Doug? It was the trucks, though.
Yeah.
Decided they could headline a weekend. Yeah, because normally it would be like Atlanta would be trucks and Cup, and it would be Xfinity at Mid-Ohio, which usually is this time of year. Because they did that like 3 road courses in a row for a number of years or whatever it was. Which was kind of cool. In a sense, because the fans got into it too. Like 3 road courses in a row. You're like, all right. I'm like, oh, right. We run ovals too. Right.
Yeah.
So, variety of drivers out front. Some people were bumping. You can't really bump with these cars. Ask your boy Truex. He found out fairly early.
Well, yeah, they took a watermelon in the ass, and it really kind of sucked.
Which was at the same time that Austin Dillon took one hell of a lick.
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah, well, it's not well, and also like Logano, like he tried to hop over Truex. It looked like.
Oh yeah, actually, I forgot to mention. Yeah, thank you, Keith. Justin Marks was running in the truck race.
Yep, and then put it in the tires.
Yeah, he didn't do much. That's forgettable. Yes, you think for Parker Kligerman's run was forgettable. Justin Marks said, "Hold my beverage."
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, Cup race had a variety of leaders, but it was a lot of the good cars were up front. Like it wasn't necessarily the usual suspect. Brad Keselowski was doing really well.
Oh, there was a lot of like Truex. Even after the wreck, Truex was like he was still coming on.
Which show, yeah, like a lot of because I was like, well, it used to be you get into a wreck, especially at Atlanta or something, which is so aerosensitive that you're like, well, your day's done. Not anymore necessarily. You might not even have to pound anything out; it pounds itself out.
Well, we talk about like Chastain with all the damage he had, he was still running up front.
Yeah, and everyone's like, well, he might be a pusher, but he can't lead the field. And he went, watch me, and he did. And Harrison Burton was having some good runs. It was good
I kind of liked Harrison Burton. You could hear Jeff kind of cheer him on a bit in the booth, and I was like, you know what?
I think, yeah, that's fine. The kid needs it. He's had the worst luck this year.
Yeah, it wasn't a Ned Jarrett calling Dale Jarrett to the win at Daytona, but it was still, it was. I kind of liked it.
Yep, and Ty Dillon was doing pretty well out there until he had some issues.
Yep,
he had definitely a competitive car out there. And the follow-up to last week's broadcast, how some crew members changed from the 20 car to the 23 and vice versa. And shocker, the 20 car now has a wheel issue during a pit stop, which
more on that later.
Now, granted, yeoman's effort, it wasn't jumping on the windshield saying don't stop, but that guy was still trying to put that lug nut on while the car was well out of the pit stall and that wheel was turning very fast. I was like, dude, you're gonna break your wrists.
Yeah.
He didn't get too far, that's for sure. Ironically, ended up in Chastain's pits. Because it was his crew. Oh, you need this wheel? Here you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, not a lot of overly aggressive. Like we didn't get any real crazy because there was a couple restarts with not that many laps left, but it didn't get Daytona crazy out there or Talladega crazy.
Yeah. How about
whoever that tire changer is that's now on the 20? I'm pretty sure he's unemployed now because he's 2 teams he's fucked up.
More on that later. I told you more on that later. We'll do more on that later. How about back in Atlanta? They already have the same a shop that they run out of. How about that run in the 7 car with Corey LaJoie?
Corey LaJoie, yes. Damn near won the race.
If it wasn't for little dickhead putting him in the wall at the end.
Well, there was that, yes. But he was like, yeah, I get it. Because he would have done the same thing. So he got it.
Yep.
And I think you do have to get screwed out of a win before you win nowadays, it seems. So good on you, Corey. And I thought then that would have been the interesting had he won because he's not in the top 30 in points.
No, he's not.
He's 31st. So because then that would be that whole other storyline with the points, But
then he gets the 10 extra points for winning, doesn't he?
Yeah, but he was like 30. Even when he was leading the race, he was still like 30 points out of 30.
Well, he's got like 6 races left to get.
I know, but what I'm saying is that would have been another storyline because it'd be the points as they run, and depending on where he is, means whoever's in 16th may not be in 16th.
Which would happen to be Christopher Bell.
Which, ironically, he is. Until he gets a new tire changer, he's not going to be 16th.
More on that later.
Yeah. Harvick was up in the hunt at the end of the race, which was interesting to see.
In the Hunt Brothers pizza car.
In the Hunt Brothers pizza car. Yep. Yeah, he's got to get rid of that Busch cider crap off the car because it's once they put that wrap on, it's been
a little sour.
Yeah, a little sour, a little stale performance. Yeah,
Those apples are a little sour. But
so Chase Elliott wins to become only the second Georgia-born driver to win at Atlanta, and also the second generation winner, I guess you would call that, because fathers and sons that have both won at the track. So joining the Earnhardt family.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't, I guess it's cool you win at your home track, and blah blah blah. Because I know that's not an easy feat. Because ask Clint Boyer at Kansas.
Yep.
Martin was able to pull it off at Dover.
Well, he's still got a few home tracks he could still win at.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, somehow Martin gets like 4 home tracks, like somehow, right?
Yeah.
He's like, if you ran at New Jersey Motorsports Park, I'd have the home track. It's like, yeah, but have you ever raced there? And he's like, well, no.
Yeah.
No. I like it how they're like, well, New Hampshire is his home track. I'm like, well, it should be coming out of the Busch North Series.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the home track as much as anything else. Maybe Martinsville. Because I think they ran there too in that series. So, yeah. So Chase Elliott with the win. I have to give Chickaboo credit. The kid can grow a mustache. That was a nice looking mustache. He got rid of the beard, but he kept the stash. For a second, I'm like, is that Ryan Blaney? Nope. And the guys that are rocking stashes are going bold this year.
I'm kind of with Keith, except I'm not a little bit. I'm going a whole lot of overkill on the pool hall.
Yeah, I had no need for that. But that's the thing. Like, where's Rutledge? Because they don't even put him at the track anymore.
Yeah.
He's like, if I got to hang out in the infield again for another season, they're like, can I just find a local point of interest I can hang out at? And they're like, I guess. Okay.
So before we get on to any news, why don't we talk about the penalty report that came out today?
Okay.
It's blank. There's no penalties from this weekend's races. Any of the race, it's blank. There is nothing on it.
Well, they did mention during the race losing a wheel on pit road is different than losing a wheel on the track. I noticed, and I think there was a memo from NASCAR
in the penalty report that I'm looking at right here. It says Christopher Bell's number 20 team did not receive a penalty for losing a left rear tire on pit road at Atlanta during final stage of Sunday's race.
Right.
And I actually, looking at it again, I lied. There's one thing on the penalty report.
Okay.
Case Collenbach has successfully completed terms and conditions mandated for reinstatement.
I didn't know he was suspended. I don't even know who he is.
Exactly. That's he's the lone thing on the penalty report.
Right. All right. So that brings us into the news and innuendo portion of the show.
Did anything happen today?
Yeah. Breaking news.
We can see into the future.
Yes, breaking news.
In a year far away.
Which is funny because it was announced right around the time of his win that his contract extension was picked up for next year. But I'm guessing it's only a 1-year option at a time because apparently Tyler Reddick is going over to 2311 racing.
Yep.
For the 2024 season.
Yes.
No car was announced, which means does Kurt Busch stick around?
Well, so there's that. So
they're not going to go after a third charter.
We don't know that.
I don't think they are.
Because the other week, Denny Hamlin was talking about NASCAR. He was talking with Jim France.
Yes.
About how they can't cut the charters. They have to add more charters to the
They
team.
do need to add more charters.
And the 2024 season is right before the new TV contract.
Right.
So I'm guessing after the TV contract, they'll be a bit more expensive than before.
And more locked in because they are looking at
Yeah.
the Formula One model.
Yeah. So I think they're trying to go for that. You know, they want to add to have possibly a third car.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think you will see I will say right now, you're going to see a third 2311 car at some point. But my prediction for that is the Denny running, say, 6 races a year as an owner driver. And, excuse me, nothing wrong with that. You know, that, because, you know, I could see Brad Keselowski doing the same thing.
I can go with Keith saying that Kurt is maybe saying, hey, give me one more year.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's largely up to Kurt in many ways. I think that's kind of the relationship they have is, hey, if you want to keep running, you know, this ride's yours because you bring a lot to the development side. You know, who's to say, even by 2024, does Bubba Wallace move on? We don't know, you know, because it could be as much a chemistry thing as anything else. We don't know.
He's already been having a little bit of issues with Booty.
I think you're going to see Booty move on before you're going to see Bubba move on.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, I loved it today. Listening to the radio after on the way home from work, after it was announced, and just the people that are actually clueless that call into the radio.
Well, and they think this is the first time this has ever happened. First of all, and it's like this isn't even the first time this has happened with RTR.
People calling in saying that 2311 is taking a big chance because they don't know if Tyler Reddick is going to still be a good driver then.
Still be, really? Oh, still be, because he's that wily veteran that he is.
Well, what he's like? He's like 26, 25, 26.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's not exactly a wily veteran.
And apparently, if memory serves me correct,
I know Kurt's getting booth offers, Keith. Expect him in the truck series taking over for Michael Waltrip.
Better be. Didn't Tyler Reddick drive Xfinity for Joe Gibbs Racing?
He did.
That he did. So he's already got a relationship with that team.
Yep.
Then you got the other people calling in. You know, it's a good thing he had to move on because RC is giving all the best equipment to Austin Dillon.
I don't think he is.
Tyler's got to win.
Yeah, exactly.
Austin
doesn't. Not to mention, they've largely gone the Hendrick model because they have GMS that they're supplying cars to, and somebody else as well. I can't remember.
Really, it's in, you know, and I'm not sure who remembered. I watched the Eric Estep video today, his show out today, and he was going on about how that Reddick, he's not sure about this move for Reddick. He thinks it's a possible good move. He's not sure. Because right now Reddick is a big fish in a little pond at RCR.
Yeah, but the way I see it too is Toyota right now is a very contracted. They need more cars in the field.
But then he went on that's that, let's go one step further, saying that Reddick will then become a small fish in a big pond because he knows that JGR has the levels of who your driver is, who you are as a driver, depends on which better equipment you get. We've seen the shop.
Mm-hmm.
Everything looked exactly the same.
Yeah, there is actually. Let's go for the fact that, you know, even with Hendrick, and part of it is because of the way they expanded. It's two car teams in many ways, parallel. Literally, buildings are next to each other, but it's still two car shops. Yep. Whereas, like, say, Gibbs, it's one shop.
Yep.
It's one shop. You might have guys that work on specific cars, but they're literally in bays next to each other. And, Even the Xfinity cars were done on the same shop floor,
They
weren't
were,
they?
yeah. Like JGR is there's
It's
no
very minimalistic, really. It's not like they got 20 cars lined up. They have a couple cars per team. That's about it. This week's that we're preparing and the next week type thing.
yeah.
Um,
Like which is almost the same. Like we've seen the same
Spire.
thing
Yes, thank you, Keith. Spire's the other one.
at the RCR shop as well. Like those cars were all there was the 3 car, there was the 8 car. They were all intermingled in the shop.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right. We've seen like about 20 cars on the floor, and
Ganassi was the same way. Actually, Ganassi had everything. Xfinity on the same floor. Actually, it was Cup on one side, Xfinity on the other side, but still.
And then Hendrick. No, we didn't see anything.
No. Well, no, we did see a Hendrick's Xfinity operation when we stopped over at Junior Motorsports.
Oh yes, that's right. Yes.
But that gets into
a small little window.
My rumor and innuendo. You're going to see a split of that partnership between Hendrick and Junior. Like Hendrick's going to dissolve his partial ownership because of the conflict. Because we got a sneaky suspicion that because we know Junior Motorsports is looking to go Cup racing and will go Cup racing. Thanks for the pints, Junior. Junior buys RCR and will have the 3 and the 8 under his ownership.
DEI 2.
DEI 2.0.
Well, there was chance 2. Let's go DEI 2.
DEI 2, which with the engine program, the Earnhardt Childress engines. Does that mean Junior's back in partnership with Teresa? No.
I think that partnership then dissolves. Yeah, and there's the new Earnhardt too.
Oh yeah, yeah. So but then do you see? Then in the engine alliance between Junior's engines and Hendrick, type thing. The way Roush does all the Ford engines, maybe Hendrick just does all the Chevy engines. You
know what? I could see that.
Yeah, I read that as just somebody put that out there, and I went, "Wow, that really does make sense." The only thing that doesn't make sense is you'd have to shut down the operation in Welcome and move it to more, because I don't think Junior would want to be out in Welcome. Because I read, but there's nothing else out there.
I read some stuff recently within the last couple of weeks that RC is looking at retirement.
Well, this is the thing.
So, that's already been out there floating. So that makes that even more, and Kelly and Dale have kind of said that they want to go even a partial schedule next year.
Yeah. And, and I can see them keeping Mike Dillon, or, the management team.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because there is a relationship there to a certain extent.
I think almost all the people up at the top at RC, at RCR, it has that Earnhardt relationship.
Exactly. So I think it would get that blessing
right down to the shop mascot that they have there, Chalka Myers.
Nice way to talk about Austin Dillon.
Well, I'm thinking Chalka Myers. They have a freaking. He's got a studio that he does his show on from there in the museum.
Yeah. Or is that what you do? You just leave the museum open and then.
I think you leave the museum open.
Yeah. Or do you buy it all turnkey, and then Junior just runs the museum that largely features his dad? Oh, and then all of a sudden, Dale finally owns a bunch of his dad's cars and shit like that.
That could be.
He's like, I already got a car to put in there because he's got the Nova already, and he could just ease it on in there. He's like, I really don't need this Ricky Rudd car. That could go, hey, Ricky, you want to buy a car? So, yeah. There's that. So I saw a couple people, and it's just like, it's just it just clicks in many ways. Yep. It checks a lot of boxes. There's 2 team charters. It's not like you're getting a 4-car operation.
And it's the, as much as we talk about it, it's the family numbers coming back.
Yeah. Or does it become Earnhardt Childress Racing, and RC holds like I'll still be the owner of the 3 car, you be the owner of the 8 car situation, but I'm just hanging out the winery retired. You run everything, much like Hendrick's done at this point. He's between Chad Knos and Jeff Gordon running things over there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Hendrick's just there to shake hands and smile.
Yeah.
So, and it's the 3 and the 8 exactly. Which, if RC doesn't own those numbers, like I personally, I give a rat's ass who owns what numbers, but I think it would mean a lot to a lot of fans.
Oh yeah,
especially that core fans, which we know are very territorial.
A lot of people will be getting that second 8 removed from their tattoo. The off-centered 8 that had to go to the 88 from the 8.
They're leaning into that 8 font pretty close already, Keith. Depending on the sponsorship, when you look at it, because the 8 font wasn't that derivative from the 3 originally. So. Yeah, it just makes sense on a lot of levels. Like obviously, and Junior's pretty much outgrown the space they're at now.
Oh yeah, for sure, because they're the shop that they had there.
Yeah,
I think that's now the Dirty Mo Media shop, because when you see the people walk in on the Dale Junior download, that's that other door leading into the offices area.
Yeah, as opposed to off the gift shop.
Well, it is the gift shop.
Yeah,
that's where the gift shop was.
Oh, okay. So the gift shop's gone now.
Yeah, because remember there was that little kind of where if you watch the Door Bumper Clear show, you see that booth that Matthew Dillner and everyone else is in.
Right.
Right. That's that other little booth that we seen was there as their.
Yeah, that's when they do the Dale Junior live stuff. It's the same little booth, right? Their little control booth thing.
Yeah, that little control booth. Yeah, that's that little.
Which looks like the announcer booth for every short track I've ever been in.
Yeah, so it used to have that small little couch. I believe they did the Kyle Busch interview in that little room,
right?
And then now they've kind of spread out, because that window that's behind them, that you see behind them, is that was that window that was in the gift shop where they had all the old decals and.
Right.
And used race metal and where you could purchase a Junior tire.
Alex Bowman?
Yeah. But yeah, it's
just rub out that 1.8 on the tire, put a 4.
Yeah.
To make it concurrent.
Yeah. But
knowing him, he would have just rubbed off one of the 8s and left it that way.
Yeah.
Found this lane behind DEI. No, you didn't. So,
well, yeah.
Yeah, so other than that, was there any other real news? Oh, interesting. Speaking of 2024, we may see a lot of drivers retired going into that season. On the short list, being after 2023, being Kurt Busch.
Yep.
Kevin Harvick.
Could be. You could add Martin to that list.
Martin was on the list. And Brad Keselowski.
Yeah. So,
there's a tenth of the field opened up. So that'll be interesting. Not to mention with the charter. It's just like, if they didn't have the stupid charter, Roush would be 4 cars in a couple of years again.
Thank you, Michael Waltrip, for that, for bringing that idiot into NASCAR.
Yeah.
We all know that Barrett Jackson is the best auction for vehicles.
Well, actually, Kyle is a couple years behind, probably, because he started earlier, in many ways. So, yeah. See, now I think Rowdy missed the boat on expanding KTM to a cup level organization by not going after a charter while they're still cheap. Like, I keep thinking back. That conversation Junior and Denny had, and Denny kept saying, I got in at the right time.
But really, when you think about it, though, KBM had their Xfinity, and then they dropped it because he wanted to just do the truck stuff.
Well, and he also...
It got to be too expensive for him.
He only started that for his brother anyways.
Yeah, and it got to be too expensive. And I think if we've seen their shop, they had that KBM Motorsports shop is just a fantastic shop as well.
Yeah, that's a cup level shop. That's what I'm saying.
For sure. Yeah, like that was full of trucks, and because we've talked, although as much as you want him out of the truck series, there ain't no truck series without KBM.
Nope, because he took over after her KHI, which
Yep.
is still in existence, but apparently is a sports agency now.
Yep. Which they give out chassis for over half the field. They make chassis for.
Yep.
So
exactly. I don't know. Do we have anything else?
got a race this weekend.
Oh yeah, where are they running this weekend?
New Hampshire.
Oh, that makes sense. Probably get a heat dome. It'll be the hottest race of the year, right? In New Hampshire.
A new sponsor will be on one of the cars this weekend.
Well, I'm guessing you're going to choose Martin this weekend.
Like I said, new sponsor on one of the cars this weekend. If it comes up. So it's not coming out the best. But yeah.
I did not see that, Keith.
Oh, right there.
Let me solo you.
For this weekend.
Cool. Interesting.
First time ever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the drivers that have come out of BKR, incredible.
Oh yeah.
Like the list, yeah, like he's.
Well, that's kind of like the list coming out of junior motorsports at this point, because it includes Brad Keselowski.
Yeah.
Well, you had, Brad Keselowski, Chase Elliott ran for junior, did he not?
Truex.
Truex. Yeah, starts with Truex.
Yep.
So you figure, well, there's 3 Cup champions that ran for. Holy crap, that's 3 Cup champions that ran for junior.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, yeah, there's a ton. Like Reddick drove for, I believe he drove for Junior Motorsports.
Yep. Even Danica drove for junior.
Yep.
Part of her development. Junior drove for junior. Elliott Sadler drove for junior.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's.
You'll see Corey LaJoie driving the 8 car for Earnhardt Childress Racing.
Could be.
You heard it here first, folks. All right. Since I got basically all the same viewers I have on my other channel, a sneak preview of tomorrow's soda pop tasting, Doug. Look, they even have Delana Harvick on the can.
Not gonna get me. So also just a little more thing with the 19 car for this weekend. Probably for you viewers in the States, I won't be able to get to it, but as part of the promotion here, JGR founding partner Interstate Batteries, in the midst of its 31st season, sponsored the championship-winning team, and the company is also celebrating its 70th anniversary in 2022 with a unique promotion that features Truex's love for the time spent fishing out on a lake. He'll be promoting Interstate's line of marine batteries, which they also have very great batteries for RVs as well. Mine work very well.
I actually had an Interstate battery in my Camaro once, Doug, and it sucked balls, actually.
No.
Yeah. Bad luck with them.
So he'll be promoting Interstate's line of marine batteries and reminding race fans to check their batteries before heading out in the water on the road. Also, as part of the promotion, Interstate will be giving away a $1,000 Bass Pro Shops gift card.
Get all the bases you want
social media platforms. And signed gear by Truex.
That's a lot of flip-flops. Camel flip-flops, of course, I'm sure. Maybe reflective orange. I don't know. I went in there once. It was weird. I couldn't find a single base in there. No. So.
Yeah.
They need to team up with Johnny Morris since Bass Pro Shop's 50th. They should. You could see something come up. I kind of like the idea with Truex because, they're like, hey, we want to do the marine batteries. And Kyle's like, I'm from the desert. I don't fish.
Actually, I think my Interstate battery in my camper was a marine battery. It was a marine RV.
Deep cycle. That's
Deep
why.
cycle. Worked very well.
There you go.
Until I left it out in the winter.
Well, that's they don't like the cold.
No.
All right.
Now it's just sitting out on my porch.
Yeah, on to New Hampshire. Who do I like in New Hampshire? Hope Dinger runs the race, although Dinger hasn't been doing as well this year in Cup cars.
Let me see here.
How about we go with what's his name there? Suarez. Daniel Suarez. I think he's going to have a good weekend. He's due for another good weekend.
I'm not sure. I want to say Truex again, but I'm not sure.
He doesn't seem to have the fire under him right now. I don't know what it is.
I don't know.
I noticed his younger brother was kind of cool. He had he had Martin's sponsor there. Auto insurance people.
Yeah, auto owners. Yep.
Yeah. And I noticed Ryan's trying to go for the same look as his brother with the beard, which just looks like a 10-year-old with a fake beard on because he's still got, you can see that baby face under there still.
Yeah.
I was like, you look like Kyle Larson dressed as Martin Truex for Halloween. That's what I thought.
This weekend, do we see Harrison Burton come out and pull one of his father's things and lead every lap?
No, because they won't be running restrictor plates.
Okay.
That was a bit of a key to that. Nobody could pass anybody in that race.
Yeah.
It was a lot of follow the leader.
But no, the heart says Truex. I'm not sure if he'll get it done, but it's that or maybe a Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch. He's been having a lot of bad luck too lately. I don't know.
Well, it's got to change around. It's got to change.
It does. Well, there we go.
Harvick's always good at that track.
Harvick. Well, yeah, but he's never going to win another race, so I'm not going to predict him.
Actually, you know what? One of the callers today did compare Reddick. We don't know how good Reddick's going to be because it's been 2 years since Harvick's won a race, so Reddick could be the same way.
Well, no, more like if you're going to compare to Harvick, that just means Reddick's going to win 4 races next year before he leaves the team. Finish third in the point.
And Moody was kind of talking with that. Is what's next year going to be like at RCR with Reddick?
Yeah.
See you on Sunday. Don't bother coming by the shop.
Yeah, pretty much. Much like Harvick. Right?
Yep.
It's not like they do testing or anything. You don't really, what are you going to do? Show up at the sim, which is off campus, and conference call with the crew chief.
Oh, and just to go back on the Reddick thing a bit, how about that release from RCR about it?
Yeah. It couldn't come at a worse time. See, which, the way that sounded like was almost like, see, that fed into my idea. Junior wanted Reddick to drive the 8 car when he buys the team.
Yeah.
Because they've already got the history.
Yep.
He's like, what? Now I got to... Gregson's like, I'll do it. He's like, no, you won't. You need to start looking for another ride, Bubbaloo.
Yeah.
And Josh Berry is too old, so I guess Sam Mayer possibly to the 8 car.
Justin Allgaier makes his return to the Cup Series.
For 1 year, because Mayer's not quite ready.
Wait a second. Stop for a second.
Junior's coming out of retirement.
We talked about this before. There's someone whose contract is up after the 2023 season.
Kyle Busch.
After the 2023 season. That Junior has already said
Martin?
He would like.
Martin returns to the 8.
To the 8. To the Junior Motorsports 8. How about that?
Or if it's another driver, let's say it's going to be a Mayer. Does Junior just run the first race of the year, Daytona, in the 8? Just to sell the shit ton of die cast that pays for the whole season.
Yeah.
But yeah, Martin to the 8 for a year, especially doing that placeholder, because you see that quite often. New team starts, they bring in the veteran just for a year because they know what they got,
I think he's already said that he wants it. So maybe Martin does.
Yeah, which allows then Gibbs to move up without issue, and you don't have to
We
get rid
said
of
that
Kyle Busch.
2024 is the year that Gibbs will be coming up in the Cup.
Mm-hmm.
There it is.
Or do you move up one of the Childress guys, Sheldon Creed or Austin Hill? Personally, I don't think Sheldon Creed's cut for Cup level. I think he's kind of maxing out at Xfinity.
I think so. Yeah. The mullet will stay in the Xfinity Series.
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah.
Hopefully, all mullets can stay in the Xfinity Series. Well, yeah, Keith, I think Allgaier will be the dinger of that situation, right?
Yeah. He's had his time in Cup.
Yep.
Didn't work out.
Nope. Did he even run for a top team though?
He ran a 12 car, did he not?
Did he?
Well, he ran for Finch. He ran for James Finch.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's not. Yeah. No. Well, there we go. We've gone over an hour. Holy crap! We have. It's not bad considering you didn't see most of the races.
I didn't. I watched one race,
and I couldn't remember the winners. So there we are. Congratulations again to Parker.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. If you're new, please subscribe, especially if you're watching at this point. On that note, we'll be back next week with coverage of New Hampshire, apparently, as well as SRX running in Peevely. Man, Schrader's going to be back behind the wheel. He's going to show them all how to run it.
I will try to be here for it.
Well, we try, Marcy.
Maybe if I can convince a friend of mine who lives right near the track.
After Kurt Busch left. Thanks, Charles. Appreciate that.
Maybe if I can convince a friend of mine to go to the race on Sunday, maybe we can have a guest on.
Well, that'd be nice. Just give me some advance notice so we can promote it.
Well, yeah. He's already been on your show once.
Okay.
Yeah.
Donnie?
Yeah, that'd be a big red mohawk.
I was like, who the hell do you know that I had on my channel? I
know Charles, and I know.
Yeah, none of them are going to the race. Yeah. Charles didn't even go to Coda when it was outside his town, And Keith's like, they don't run in San Diego. The closest they get to him is Fontana. Long Beach.
Oh, speaking of that just popped something else into my head before we go. Letter of agreement has been signed, leaked for Chicago street course.
See ya, Road America.
Yep.
Because that's similar TV market. I think they were trying to pull the Chicago.
I'm hearing within the next 3 weeks that it will be announced. But the letter of intent has been signed, sealed, and delivered, and looks like it's a go for next year.
And I assume Texas will be back to 2 races next year.
I think so.
You could, Keith. I'd say Phoenix. Myself.
I know someone who works at Phoenix, so I can.
We know a bunch of folks in Phoenix area.
I know someone who works at the track or with the track. So yeah.
Just happen to know a pedal builder down in that area. Just saying. Not the gas pedals though. Although they do create gas when I see them. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying. So. All right. Well, on that note, he's been Doug. I've been Ben. You've been you. Again, please subscribe. If you're watching on replay, which apparently somebody did last week, watch the show on replay. Leave a comment, why don't you? I think it was probably Jay Steen had us playing while he's driving the truck down the road, laughing. So that's why I'm gonna.
We're almost gonna go 110.
Almost. Wow. Well, we will by the time it ends. There we go.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, is that me? See, Marcus?
Yeah.
Take off! It's time for Doug and Ben's great NASCAR adventure!